Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Mobile Bay Bears expansion franchise series. And today is the day that we have been waiting for quite a while, and it is expansion draft day. We are so close to playing Major League Baseball in Mobile with the Bay Bears. And today is that one final step right before we put a Major League team on the field in spring training. So today we will kick off this expansion draft and see if we can't put together a team that can hopefully not lose 100 games the first season, but it's going to be rough. Before we get started, I do want to go over a few notes of how we are starting and what I'm starting with as far as money. So first and foremost, I did give us the lowest budget in Major League Baseball at $150 million. I figured why not? I'm, going all out here doing an expansion team, trying to build this thing from the ground up. So I gave myself also more limitations and started us at $150 million total budget, and that is dead last in Major League Baseball, but not by much. I currently have $57 million to play with. That is with my scouting and my player development budget the way it is. So scouting I have maxed out at $27 million and have for the last couple years. I can obviously adjust that a little bit. I don't want to if I don't have to, because again, I'm not trying to put a seriously competitive team on the field in the first year or two. I am still trying to build this thing up. So I would like to keep that as high as I can. My player development budget is set at $25 million, which it isn't max. I don't even know if there is a max to that, but it's still a pretty good budget considering the baseline is $13.5. So I would still like to keep that as well. And if you see here, my player development has added some pretty good players over the last couple years. So we have 8 prospects in the top 200 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the top 100. We are ranked 10th out of 34, so it says 34 teams. That is because I did add the 2 expansion teams to this league until the expansion draft is over, and then we will go back down to 32 teams. So it's 10 out of 32 right now. But yeah, overall it's not bad having 5 players in the top 100. I feel like that's a pretty good start. The majority of those players are in rookie ball. We do have our first ever draft pick, the center fielder Mason Davis, who hasn't developed quite like we hoped. He has gone down to a 3-star prospect and has struggled quite a bit in the minor leagues. He did get some time in Double-A. That was just an admin error on my part. I let the assistant GM control that, and he bumped him up. But A+ ball, or high A ball, I should call it, not so great. Wound up with a 42 OPS and a negative WAR, so it was not a good season for him. Hopefully, it can turn around. His rookie ball wasn't terrible. I honestly probably should have left him in rookie ball, but he had a 117 OPS plus, which is better than average. So I went ahead and bumped him up into a high A ball, and he struggled a little bit, but I think I'll leave him there. He did develop some, so he's still just 20 years old. He'll be 21 next season, so he's still got a couple years before we start really wondering why he's not in the big leagues at 22, 23. But defensively, he's already ready. It's just a matter of getting this bat thing figured out, and he's pretty close, as you can see. He's pretty close. So hopefully he can get up into the majors quite quickly, but I imagine it's going to take another couple of years. Um, our other top, our second ever pick, William Schmidt. Again, another admin error. He should be an A plus ball too. I had screwed up at one point and I allowed the assistant GM to control the promotions and demotions, and he went ahead and promoted this guy all the way to AAA for whatever reason. So I had to push him back down, but definitely struggled with a 8.79 ERA and 22 starts. So that was not good at all. But his profile is approaching a major league profile. He is really close and still projected uh, to build out decently. Nothing's really gone down crazy, so hopefully it turns into a good pick for us. He's still 20. He's just turned 21, so um, we're working on getting these guys up. We are working on it. All right, and the rest of the guys are in rookie ball that we just drafted, and then there's some international guys. I won't deep dive those because I know you all are just ready to get to the expansion draft and telling me to quit freaking delaying the moment. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the expansion draft. And before we get started, I will make a note that we are going to draft as the Columbus Frozen Ropes, and then the Salt Lake City team will draft as the Indianapolis Coyotes. I did put myself in the first pick just because, again, if you remember an episode or two ago, the Salt Lake City Saints had a weird international free agency where they got a couple of guys that they probably shouldn't have got in one international signing period, and they have a ridiculously good minor league system. So I'm taking the first pick. They'll be okay. Limitations for this, there's 35 rounds. It is a serpentine draft, so it'll be first pick, second pick, and then the Coyotes will go first in the next round. Each team got 25 players. I left that default. They were able to protect 25 players, so essentially they could protect everyone but one person on their major league roster if they wanted to. And in addition to anyone that has less than 3 years of professional service years are automatically protected. So I can't get any crazy good prospects that have a year or two in the major leagues. Can't do any of that. So put that limitation on myself. I think that was default, but if it wasn't, I put that there at 3. It could have been default though. Either way, I liked it. I didn't want to, get a crazy good prospect from this draft. I feel like that's not realistic. And then I did leave the limit picks from a single team to no limit. I thought about making it 1 or 2, but I just went ahead and left it no limit and just went with it. Since I am allowing teams to keep 25 players, if I did go more than one player from each team, it would probably not be one of their major league players. So odds are that it won't be a huge prospect, but we'll see. I've never done one of these drafts. This is a first, and I'm going to be learning this as you guys are watching it. So let's get to it. All right, and we are on the clock. Looking at what is available, there's some decent players available. I Before I started this, I probably should have showed you guys. I do have a few minor league free agents sitting in AAA that are decent outfield prospects. And when I say a few, I have 2 outfielders, and I also have 2 first basemen that are ready to play at the major league level. One of them has played at the major league level. I signed him last year to a minor league free agent contract, Mr. Rowdy Tellez, and he played on my AAA team, and he's still on my team. But his stuff is good enough to be in the major league, so he will likely be on the team as well as the two outfielders that are in AAA. So I can kind of use that to work around when I'm going to pick. I don't need to pick a first baseman, and I likely don't need to pick a left fielder or a right fielder. I would need a center fielder for sure. And then also my pitching is pretty terrible. I need some serious help in the pitching category, which luckily for us is the majority of what this expansion draft appears to be. So there's a good bit of pitchers, and I think I'm actually going to go pitcher on my first pick, a starter, just because I think there's going to be obviously a lot of these players are going to be left over. Only two of them are going to be taken by the time I pick again, but I think having a starting pitcher that are one or two starting pitchers is huge, and I have like zero relief pitchers. So I am going to build a pitching staff as a priority, and I think you guys will see that throughout this playthrough. I love pitching. Pitching is king. Pitching and defense. Not that I don't like hitting and I don't like putting those players that can hit on the field and finding them, but if I had to pick and I needed to fill pitching, I will fill pitching first. And that's probably how I'm going to start this expansion draft, just because I feel like it's important to get a good pitcher first. So, um, I filtered this to pitchers. However, I am going to filter this to relievers. I did do some pre-scanning, if you will, prior to recording here, and I did find a few guys that I liked. I don't necessarily need to pick them first, but I'll take a note of them. One of them being Mason Black. Really liked his profile. I don't like the fact that he's only a three-pitch pitcher, so he might be more of a bullpen guy, but is a major league minimum guy, has good stamina, and has nothing wrong with his personality. Uh, has a little bit of MLB time, and everything in the MLB is pretty solid, minus his first stint in the MLB, which was only 6 games. But other than that, its ERA has been 3.74 in 2025 in 33 innings, and then in 2026 he pitched 44 innings and had a 2.44. So I like him. I don't think I have to take him this round or in the next couple rounds because he's so far down the list. But I just want to make note of that. I really want to wind up with this guy, but at the right time. He's also only 26 years old. So we'll come back to him. I think I obviously need to try to pick a little higher up and find someone with essentially a minimum 45 stamina. Aaron Savali has a good profile. However, I will say he's got $13 million and he's a free agent, so there's no telling what he's going to want at the end of the year. And he might just be a 1 year rental. And for $13 million, it's just not worth it to me. Like I said, I'm not going to be competitive the first year, no matter which way, shape, or form I put this together. So I'm not going to spend that much money on him. Jordan Hicks, again, $12 million. Not excited about that. The other one I saw was Kyle Hurt. So he is making the major league minimum. He is probably going to go to arbitration, and it looks like he's going to get about $1.5 million. So that's not bad. He's 28 years old, and funny enough, I am very familiar with Mr. Kyle Hurt. I have had this guy on my team in every single team that I have played through in my short time here on OOTP. So I ended the OOTP 24 season with the Oakland A's, and I had him on my Oakland A Major League team. And then I started the OOTP 25 with the Colorado Rockies, and I also had him on my Colorado Rockies, and I actually signed him to a pretty large extension. And then, ironically enough, after signing him to that extension, the very next offseason, our next year, over a span of like 3 months, he lost 9 miles per hour on his fastball and just started getting rocked. So hopefully that's not a common theme. But he has good stamina. Nothing crazy on his personality. He does like a lot of money, but luckily we have him for arbitration time, so his performance will dictate that money. I think it's a great profile. He does lack a little bit in the control. It's not terrible, but it's not great. He had 106 innings in AAA last year and had 49 walks, so not terrible. I can live with that, especially if he produces. And he's also an extreme ground ball guy. So I think he's probably our first pick. I liked him too. I just didn't like the low stamina, although he might be someone I pick very soon. And he's a bullpen guy, but he definitely got a fastball, slider, curveball, changeup. He's definitely a four-pitch pitcher and can probably put in some good innings. He's also a ground ball guy. So I think it's very likely that I go with those two guys, maybe first, and then I look at a position player. But all right, let's go ahead and do Kyle Hurt first. Did not end this season very good with Los Angeles, but I'm gonna go with it. I like the profile. Besides his control, hopefully we can harness that control and make it happen. All right, let me drag him down and do it. Kyle Hurt is the first official member of the Mobile Bay Bears Major League Baseball team. All right, Indy takes Will Benson. So they went right fielder. 28-year-old is worth or wants $4 million. So didn't have a crazy season. Haven't done anything really in the major leagues, but has a good profile. So you would assume he would do a little bit better. But either way, all right. And then the second pick, they took Brett Beatty. They have him as a first baseman in this game. Obviously, he's a third baseman in real life, but he does play third base. But apparently, his first base skills are better. Again, pretty subpar seasons. Yeah, so far I'm good. We see how they're going. So I have a pitcher. I'm going to go again pitcher, and I think I'm going to go with this guy. He's a fan favorite too, and he has good loyalty and work ethic, so I think that's great for the clubhouse, and hopefully good for my rotation. So again, I'm going to go pitching. We'll take him, and then we should be right back up again. Do I go pitching one more time? The decisions that I need to make. This is a pretty good prospect from Atlanta. I don't like the fact that he's got a extreme fly ball rating or tendency on on his profile. You'll notice that I don't like those guys either. And throughout this playthrough, you'll notice that. Gavin Stone, fastball, slider, changeup, cutter. I like that too. Could be arbitration eligible. About $1.5 million. It's a pretty solid profile, I'll be honest. Alright, we'll come back to him. We might go pitcher, pitcher, pitcher here. Another good profile. I don't. I think Logan Allen wanted some money, although he's not bad. He is a fly ball pitcher. I think I'm going to go Gavin Stone, and then I'll pivot to a position player. Yeah, we're going to go Gavin Stone. And then we'll pivot back. And again, I might not be doing this right. This is my first ever expansion draft. I just think build pitching staff. There's plenty of them, obviously, but I'll go. I will go position player the next pick. They're just going all position. So they went Spencer Steer. It's not a bad pick, honestly, but he is getting $4 million. And then they went with AJ Smith-Shawver. Okay, so they went with their first pitcher. It's a good profile. I do not blame them there. He was tempting. All right, let's go batter here. Let's go with our first batter. We got 3 pitchers, so again, I don't need a first baseman. He can play third base though, so that's interesting. 33 years old, not a huge fan. A left fielder. See Harrison Bader, center field. 32 years old. Gonna really just be a defensive center fielder, but it's a damn good defensive center field for a mediocre bat. So we'll come back to that. So our first baseman. Lots of first basemen. Lots of them. Let's see about Matt Chapman, who won $17 million. Man, no thanks. Wes Clark, another first baseman. Wilson Contreras. It's gonna be tough to put a offensive team on the field, guys. I can tell you that much right now. Jonathan India, that's not bad. Low leadership though, so don't like that. I'm almost tempted to just round out my outfield there and just take him because of his defensive abilities. Although I just don't see him producing in the bat, man. This is a lot tougher. I thought it was going to be for position players. All right, Brendan Donovan. Okay, this has got potential here. All right, first base, second base. Okay. All right, I like this. Good leadership ability. I need that on my team. He's a minor league contract. This is kind of right up my alley. Doesn't have a lot of speed, but he can play first base, second base, third base, right field, left field, good infield range, error, and turn double play. not had the greatest seasons, but didn't even play last year. No one picked him up. Well, he sounds like my kind of guy already. So I think we're going to go with him. One more look real quick. I really like the fact that he can play all those positions. Xavier Edwards, he does the same. Really good profile, no power. I might go both of them back to back. I think I have 2 picks back to back here, so I could go both of them back to back. We'll just do that. And then I'll go Donovan. All right. And then we will auto draft for Indianapolis. Looks like they went pitchers again. I think, let me see. Yeah, they went 2 pitchers. All right, so I have I have 2 outfielders. I have 2 infielders that can play utility. I have 3 starting pitchers. Now, what do I go to? Do I go ahead and round out this with Harrison Bader? He will be the highest paid player on my team. Let me go outfield. Let's see who can play the best outfield, the best center field. That's what I need is a center fielder. I've had Lawrence Butler before. Man, he can't play center field though. He did develop nicely. He's got leadership. That's tough. Somebody's just gonna have to play terrible center field. Alright. I'm gonna go. I could go Beatty because he's a righty. I want to say Butler's a lefty. Yeah. Could slot him in against. Ah, man. Good center fielder. Okay, here's one. Alright, I think I can work with this. Not a leader, but definitely a respectable bat. Hit 23 home runs last year. I can make this work. Drew Gilbert. I remember this guy. He hit like a crazy walk-off at the University of Tennessee, like a walk-off grand slam. All right, I think I'm going to go with this guy. I do like definitely against righties. Against lefties, he's not bad, but definitely potential there. All right, we'll go Drew Gilbert, and then one more kind of look through here. I might honestly go Butler. I kind of like that leadership, and he's on minimum. He didn't even hit his arbitration yet. All right, yeah, we're gonna go Butler. All right, I definitely have a complete outfield now. So we'll go back to pitching, and they went a third baseman, and then they went pitching. Taj Bradley, not a bad pick, not a bad pick at all. All right, let's go to pitchers. See if my guy's still there. He's still down there. Alright, let's look at a couple of relievers here. Iglesias is at 36 years old, so I don't like that. He is only wanting 2 mil. Landon Knack could be a reliever for us. They have him as a starter. Could be that as well. Josh Sborz wants 3 million, but honestly, it's a really good profile. Could be a closer for us, or just a reliever in general. That one's tough. I don't think it's too important that I go for our closer because I don't think I'm going to be closing that many games. Oh man, this is going to be a fun first couple of years, that's for sure. Alright, this is a tough decision. I might just go ahead and grab the guy I want. I'll be honest, fastball slider. Seems pitching does not lack, that's for sure. I'm going to go with Mason Black here. I'm going to go ahead and take him. And then, because pitching seems to be pretty heavy, I think I need to go back and find infielders that can play like middle infield here. So as a second baseman, maybe a shortstop. 22. He's got a potential here. Miguel Arroyo. He hasn't played above AA, but not bad. He played in 2 separate AA's last year. Hit 19 homers. So he's definitely got potential. Maybe more of a second baseman. This guy's out for 8 months. Damn. That's unfortunate. I wish it was like 2 months. Alright, that could be a shortstopper. He hasn't played above A ball. He's 22 as well. But a damn good infielder. Not going to do much power-wise, but isn't going to strike out any. That's tough. That is tough to find a good shortstop. Oswaldo Cabrera can play it. I've had him on my team before. He's kind of a good utility guy. Rodolfo Castro just unfortunately doesn't have a bat. Yu Chang, same. Might just have to have a middle infielder that just is average at best. That'd be one of those positions that we upgrade. Oh, there's a decent one. Jose Devers, no power, but can play the position well. very limited time in MLB, but it's been successful. Hmm. All right, so he plays second base. There was another guy. Was it this guy? Sorry, guys. Bear with me. There's a lot going on here. Trying to show you guys how I do this. But I really wish this guy was available. Or he is available. I wish he wasn't hurt. Um, I like this guy. He's young prospect too. I think I'm just gonna take this guy and put him somewhere. I like the fact. I just like his profile. This is probably not a popular pick, but it's gonna be the pick. All right, let's do another one, and then oh, that was them. Let me see here. Did I take two just then? Oh, I did. All right, let's see who they pick. They went with Brandon Marsh. That's a good pick. God dang. I feel like that guy was not in my view. Whatever. And then they went pitcher Keaton Wynn. Okay. All right, guys. I'm gonna pause for just a quick break, and then I will pick it back up. I won't do any picks without you guys though, so I will pause it real quick. All right, I am back, and I need to go pick catcher here. I don't have a catcher, and I've filled up a lot of position players, and I think it's time I at least grab a catcher. And while I took a little bit of a break, I did some scanning before I hit record, and I found a catcher that I am willing to go with. He's never really been in the major leagues or ever. He's never even been above A ball, but he has a decent little bat. But most importantly, he has a 60 overall defense and very good blocking, framing, and an arm, and he has good work ethic and intelligence, so he could potentially get a little better. I don't think he's going to get much better. He is 26 years old. He's never played in the majors, but I think with that catcher rating and his bat is a average contact bat and he has a good eye, he could potentially, surprise me and hit 220, 230. He's definitely not going to do anything crazy, but his stats in A plus ball or high A ball are absolutely ridiculous. He's got a 208 OPS plus, so like uh, with a over 1,000 OPS, just absolutely ridiculous. I think he's easy pick defensively. It was either him or this guy defensively. I don't like his bat as much. He is a year older. Um, does have some experience in AAA. He has about 300 bats, and he did well, so he didn't do terrible there. But I think ultimately I'm going to value the defense over anything. Joey Bart wasn't a bad choice. He has all those leadership personalities I'm looking for, um, but just hasn't done anything really. I like the new kid a little bit more. So I'm gonna go Mr. Silas Ardoin, and he's gonna be our major league catcher, and he's never been above high A ball. This is probably a terrible decision, but oh well, I made it, guys. I made it. Um, I will also, let's see, maybe I can look for a backup to the backup, even though he's gonna be my starter. Maybe I go with this guy as the backup. So you guys will find that I typically like to rotate catchers, so I need two catchers. Um, you will see that throughout this playthrough that I very rarely don't not have two catchers. Maybe we go with Joey Bart here. Could potentially be our starting catcher, but probably not. Only wants $1 million. Doesn't have any option years though. I don't like that. Not that we're gonna be optioning him down, because there's really not gonna be any better options available. Oh man. Hmm. Bear with me here, guys. Yeah, this guy got options. He's got 3 options left. I'm just gonna go with this guy. This guy seems to be a little better than Joey Bart, so we'll go him. Doesn't have leadership ability, but that's fine. We'll go with two guys that have never been in the major leagues. Why not, right? Where did this guy go? There he is. All right. All right. Indianapolis went with Landon Knack, a pitcher, and then they also went with a second baseman, Robert Moore. It's pretty good. Pretty solid second baseman. All right. I think it is time we go back to pitcher. Let's see who is left. I like how he is locked up to 2029. Let me look at his contract though. Okay, it's just 3 million. Have like our closer maybe. He is fragile. Don't like that. Jose Adames. Not bad. He's an extreme ground ball guy. I would like a little bit more control. Same with this guy. Could potentially fit in the bullpen though. Man, what's up with all these guys in no control? Everybody's control is terrible. I don't mind this guy. I think I'm more inclined to spend a little bit of money on a pitcher, and I like Josh here. It is 3 million a year, but honestly, he's got a great profile, and I don't need a good closer, but I think it would be good just to have maybe him as like a stopper and put someone else as the closer. Um, Either way, he's a good bullpen asset, so we'll go with him. May not have been the right way to do things, but here we are. Aaron Ashby has stood out to me. Spencer Arrighetti. I've had him before in other playthroughs. Hmm. Man, if we could just find someone with some good control, we'd be in business. Jesus Christ. Oh, hey, this dude's got 60 control, but he doesn't have anything else. That's crazy. Oh, this dude's $50 across the board. Now we're getting somewhere. Only has 8 appearances in Major League Baseball, so he's gonna get a chance with us probably. He's a fly ball pitcher, but not too bad. He's 26. You know, AJ Blue Bow. That's a terrible name to have for me because that's gonna sound like so many things. Oh man. All right. They went pitcher and pitcher. All right, let's see. I did what, 4 pitchers? I guess I need to find our 4 starters. I guess I need to find one more guy here. Man, no control, huh? That's crazy. Those 100 miles an hour though. That's probably why he doesn't have control. If I had to guess, that would be why. Alright, what's this guy got? Fastball, changeup, knuckle curve. Leadership. Okay, I could live with that. Kyle Bernovich, 29 years old. Man, it's hard to figure out what we want. Alright, I'm gonna do this offline real quick and then I'll come back with my pick for this one, guys. This is gonna take a minute, I think. Alright, it actually didn't take as long as I thought. I found Mr. Jose Cornell, only 23 years old, so that is awesome for us. 50 stamina, so, not great, but not terrible. Has 4 pitches: fastball, curveball, changeup, and a cutter. Still has improvement left, they think, on the fastball, the changeup, and the cutter. So that is great. No negative personality traits. He's not fragile. Um, has only 9 innings in the major leagues, but does have a good 2.89 in those 9 innings. And he's 23 years old, so I think this might be a steal. Um, I would have locked this guy up as a team, but you know, maybe they had a embarrassment of riches in pitching. He might be one of our better ones. All right, and then let me do some more research and let's see who our next pick's gonna be. All right, I went ahead and went with a lefty that's gonna be a bullpen guy. Just kind of an overall average profile to slightly above average. Good control, decent fastball, slider, curveball, changeup, all completely developed. He's 28, about to be 29 years old. Has had a few stints in the major leagues and has been fairly successful. So hopefully we can have that out of him as well. But definitely needed a lefty out of the bullpen. And he kind of fits that mold that we like. No negative personalities either. So we'll go with him. And then we will be back for the pick after the two picks from Indianapolis. All right, we're going to go with another pitcher, a ground baller, another bullpen guy, a righty with a fastball slider, changeup, good stuff, good movement. Nothing wrong, has very minimum experience in the major leagues, but at the same time has done well in the minor leagues, and I like his profile. 27 years old, ground ball pitcher, so definitely someone that we could throw in the bullpen and see what we get. So we will go with Mr. Connor Cook. And that's the 16th round of 35. And this episode's getting kind of long, and I like to keep them, my goal is to keep them all under an hour. So I think that's a good stopping point right around halfway through the draft. I'm going to pause this episode, and then the very next episode we will pick back up in the draft and finish that out. I will show you guys a few more rounds of that probably, and then I'll finish it out offline. And then the next episode we'll get the rest of the off-season stuff completed, add some guys to the development complex and international free agency, and then right into spring training. We also got to look at free agents that we want to sign after we see who is going to be potentially on the major league team and what holes we need to fill, and then roll into spring training and get this thing rolling. But appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned for the last part of the expansion draft for the next episode, and I will catch you guys then. So again, thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next one.